Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa 2. In the last episode, holy shit. Okay, last episode, specifically, we were investigating how Nagito died, and we learned a whole shit ton of information about all sorts of things. Mainly being, there's an ultimate imposter, which we basically decided was Byakuya, the fat one that we had at the beginning of this game. Interesting, right? It's starting to, in the few days it's been since I recorded that last session, I've definitely been pondering that idea. And I know at the end of the episode I said something about, oh, Nagito might have killed himself. Well, in a way, that could be kind of true, right? What if all of this has to do with the ultimate imposter still being alive? Or, you know, involved in some way? Maybe that wasn't actually Nagito. Because, let me bring up another point. Remember how all of the cases so far have connected to the first game in that, you know, they have similarities? Well, the fifth case in Danganronpa 1 was actually a body that was already dead. Remember that? I wonder if maybe, just maybe, they've used the ultimate imposter's body and it, you know, it's not going to actually be Nagito and Nagito's going to show up. I wonder. That's the real thing. So maybe when I go to trial and Nagito shows up, everything's gonna go fucking shit. If that's the case, that's gonna be awesome. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he tricked Monokuma too. I don't know. I was just thinking about it, you know, between episodes. Like if there's connections to the first game, like there has been so far. I know the last one wasn't quite the same, but in a way it was because Gundam and Nekomaru kind of sacrificed themselves for the better of the team, for the better of the peeps. But anyway, I'm just going to bring that up because I was thinking about it, and it made sense to me. Especially since it's either that or Nagito killed himself, because those are the two things I'm coming out with here. But if he killed himself, then it has nothing to do with the first game, instead of trying to pin it on somebody or whatever. But yeah, like I said, this is all being used to flush out the traitor, which I still maintain. I still think it's Chiaki. Okay, and then before we go to the trial, I almost forgot. Goddamn. Okay, first thing, I'll check my pet real quick, just for the hell of it. Yeah, see, there's shit everywhere, dude. Shit everywhere. No, but what I wanted to do is go to the report card and buy a move, because I have like 7 points, and I've been like needing to buy a move for the freaking. I want to buy this one. Yeah, for the rebuttal showdown, because the blade being weak sauce has actually been really making these very challenging. So I'm gonna buy this one. They also have excellent blade, which is only 4, but why would you increase by 2 when you can increase by 5? That sounds like a way better idea. And they don't stack, so you can either get one or the other. And that's probably the last move we're gonna get in the game, unless there's time to do more free time. Well, okay, I can get upshift or downshift. Reduce your aiming speed. And this one increases my aiming speed. Would I rather be faster or slower? I feel like faster would be what you would want. I don't know. I think the aiming speed's fine. I don't need it to be up or down. I think I'm fine with it. Okay, so now that I've bought that move, I don't have to equip moves until... I think equipping moves comes when you actually start the trial, so we're gonna be fine. Okay, guys, you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready, dude. I'm so down. And I'm really glad I'm recording this on the day that I am, because I don't want to do hella voices today. And it's a trial day, so I won't have to do all the voicing, at least not until the trial's over. This one's going to be a doozy, though. I can smell it already.
Damn right.
Looks like everyone's here.
Huh?
Huh? Is this it? Shouldn't there be more people?
Damn it.
Stop it. You're making me depressed.
Silly fool, you're making me depressed.
So, it is going to happen again. The cruel conflict, where we must doubt our friends. But, once we're through this, we can go back, right?
That's right.
That Monokuma bastard said so, didn't he? He said this is the last class trial. Oh yeah, and they said that last time too, which I'm still skeptical about that actually being the case. I still think there's going to be a final trial where we try to figure out the mystery of why we're here. But we'll see if that actually happens. There's bound to be at least another chapter of something after this.
Damn it.
But we've been tricked every step of the way. There's no way I can believe that so easily.
Of course not.
Why can't you believe it? The guy who's making us do all this is the one saying it, you know?
You know,
That's
right?
why I'll definitely survive. If we can really go home after we deal with this class trial,
That's right.
I'll definitely find out who the killer is, no matter what. Even if I have to pull out all the stops. Uh-oh. What the fuck? Why are you here? You haven't realized it yet? That feeling of wanting to leave this island. Thinking like that. It's Monokuma's trap, you know.
Huh?
What are you saying?
Got it?
There's no way Monokuma will end things here. He's planning something far worse. Stop trying to jinx us.
I'll pick you up.
Damn right. Stupid rabbits, just shut up. Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair. Huh? I've finally realized, after losing my powers, I've realized that cursing your powerlessness of your... Ugh. I've realized that cursing your powerlessness or your fate accomplishes nothing. The possibility may be small, but as long as there's a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. So I will fight.
Huh?
What's her deal? I do not really know, but she seems different from before. Maybe she should read a self-help book.
Wait.
But her eyes... She looks so determined. Sorry.
You...
Shh. What can you tell just by looking at those button eyes? Anyway, make sure you turn off Mini Maru. It'd be annoying if he started talking during the trial. Fine.
But still...
Somehow, I understand what Manami is saying. I think. Anyway, let's get going. To the last class trial.
Yep.
You're right. We need to fight as much as we can. No matter what hopeless truth awaits us in the end. Well, guys, y'all ready for this? Let's go, baby. This is the end. I kept saying those words to myself over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock. And away we go. Yup. Well,
Yeah.
this elevator ride. This will be the last time for this too, right? I hope so.
Well,
Let's worry about things after we're finished.
you are right.
More importantly, we must focus on the class trial before us. So all I was going to say is, Nagito didn't show up at the last minute here. So,
Damn it.
that's a little unlike the first game, because Kyoko showed up at the last minute in that one, and we're like, wait, what? We thought Kyoko was dead! Then we had a whole big bombshell to drop. I mean, Nagito did show up for the elevator, but who knows, he could still pop up, I guess. Anyway, the killers managed to kill someone like Nagito. There's no way this is gonna go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do that. Nagito was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials. Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him because he knew all the information. In this one, he knows all the information too, but supposedly he's dead. But even if he's gone, the ones who survive need to stand and fight. We must fight. We cannot let the killer win if there is one. And then the door slowly opened. This bright light greeting us. Is that the light of hope or the light of despair? Here we are.
Well now.
Well then, now that the chatterbox Nagito is gone, there are only 6 of you left.
Shut the hell up.
Enough. Just fucking start this already.
Hey.
Hey, this is it, right? This is really the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Yep, it sure is. So, you gotta show some enthusiasm and make sure you give it your all.
All right.
Didn't I tell you he said it? This is the end. Don't believe that asshole.
Now then.
Let's get this trial started.
Viva killing!
This is the last class trial. Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other. Sure. This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. That curtain is about to rise. Nagito Kamaida, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across as very sociable. But his true nature held such a demented thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. He said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said he was yearning for a powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said he would even help despair just to prove that hope will never lose to despair. And he said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. But there were also times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. And I have no idea at all who did it, but there's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out the person who finished off Nagito, the killer who murdered Nagito. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. And if Monokuma says this is really the last class trial, that's all the more reason we need to do this. Damn right, baby. And so, this life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, the last one, has begun. Oh yeah. Whew. Let's do this, man. I'm hype as fuck. It's early in the morning and I'm hype as fuck. This is awesome. Alright, let's set some skills up. I got enough probably to put all the moves I don't already have equipped on. Oh, I don't have that one on already? Oh, I think I got this from Sonya, actually. Ooh, this could be good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that one for sure. Yeah, dude, I have enough to have all of my moves equipped. That's awesome. Well, in that case, we're gonna go ahead and put them all on. I think that's all the moves I have, actually. All the moves are on. All the ones that I have. Let's go, then, dude. Let's do this. Should we... I think I'm good on details. I should be okay. I remember most of this shit, I think. Hopefully I remember it well enough to where it helps. Also, apparently Agito was brutally murdered down there if you read it. It's not Nagito, it's Agito. Okay, let's just do it. Let's just do it. I can reread the bullets as needed. This is going to get harder and harder, too, because this is already our 5th trial.
Now then, let's begin with a simple
We remember how this works,
explanation of the
Monokuma,
class
you son of a
trial.
bitch.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
She pissed, dude. Look at that face.
Chesto!
Oh. He just had to do the fucking cross. Oh, she didn't give a fuck this time. She's like, do it again. See what happens.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow!
Nope. She good. She's like, fuck you. Fuck you.
It's useless.
Please stop. I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito
Yeah,
up.
see, the fact that we're operating on the assumption right away that the traitor did the kill, 100% means the traitor did not do the kill. So, I'm thinking during this trial, we're figuring out who the traitor is, and we're going to figure out who did the kill, even if somebody even did it. You know what I mean? Somebody that's alive did it.
No, that might not be it.
Here we go.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or are they not? And that's what I'm thinking. They're probably not. Alright, here we go. Shit ton of bullets. Let's figure out which one. I have no idea because I don't even know what we're going to be arguing about. So let's wait and see.
The killer didn't take Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Okay.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
Probably.
If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Well, why did the killer have to torture Nagito? Nah, were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place? Okay, let me take a look at what the torture wound thing says. Both of Nagito's legs were tied with a rope, and each rope was tied to nearby pillars, which prevented him from moving. His thighs were also covered in a lot of stab wounds. I don't think that helps me. Okay, what are my other bullets?
Nagito's mouth to
Survival knife. Let me just take a look at all the things because I want to make sure I know what I'm looking for here. Survival knife that was stabbed in Nagito's right hand. The knife was in the face. Assume that the wounds in Nagito's legs. So everything that's on his body was caused by this knife, and it stabbed through his hand. I don't think either of those things helps me here. The duct tape. His mouth was covered with duct tape. However, the blood spattered onto his face wasn't under the duct tape. Oh. So they were stabbing him even though his mouth was shut. They were stabbing him. That's what you're telling me. Basically, they tortured him while his mouth was shut. So if they were trying to get him to talk, they didn't give a fuck because his mouth was covered. So that matters. Maybe that's maybe that's my answer. Let me see what else there is.
I'm telling you.
Monokuma plushie. I don't think that's gonna matter. That Monokuma plushie is weird for me. I don't even know why that's even the way it is. Yeah, I don't know why this is the way it is. We're gonna have to figure out why. That one's a little bit of a mystery for me.
They were torturing him.
Monokuma panels. I think those are the ones that got knocked over like dominoes. Probably not gonna help me here. No. And oil lighter. I don't think is gonna help me here as well. That's gonna help us decide how the fire started. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The reason Nagito's body.
Monokuma's account. What? I forgot what did he talk about? I don't even remember. Monokuma knew all along the bombs were fake. Oh, about the bombs being fake. Okay, so nobody knew that but Monokuma. Well, other than the fact that Sonya figured it out, but that wasn't before. She figured it out before the bombs went off. Okay, so I'm thinking the duct tape's my answer here.
Because the killer tortured Nagito.
But we gotta figure out which one it
So that's why he was so beat up.
I'm thinking
What
it's
were they
probably.
trying to find out by torturing him?
Let's go ahead and take a look.
Definitely
at
the bomb's
things in
hiding
place. No.
If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
No, I don't think that's the answer
That
either.
was Fuyuhiko.
I don't really have a point to
I found it
refute
by
that,
coincidence.
or agree with that.
There's no way I'd torture someone.
That's it? Okay. Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? Okay, so maybe that's the idea.
The killer
Maybe,
didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him
The
up.
torture line is
I'm
just
telling
refuted
you,
by
they
the
were
duct tape.
torturing him.
Let's try that.
The reason Nagito's body
It's
was
not
covered
torture,
with
he was
wounds.
just getting cut up for the sake of
Because the
doing
killer
damage. Let's try
tortured
this.
Nagito.
Yeah! Nailed it,
that's
dude.
wrong.
First try. That one was a little harder to sniff out, but based on the evidence of the bullets they gave me, that had to be the
Nagito's
only
mouth
one
was
that made
covered
sense
with
was the
duct
duct tape.
so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
Mm-hmm.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
Yeah, they weren't just torturing him. They were just stabbing his legs and arm and all that just to basically do more damage to his body. But why? That's the real question. Like I was explaining and that's one thing is like whoever did it, Nagito couldn't have technically done that to himself, is all I'm trying to say. I don't think. Because his arms and legs were tied and all that, he couldn't have technically done it to himself. But that's what I was saying earlier. What if he technically did it to himself, but it's not actually him, it's the imposter? Wouldn't that be interesting? The thing is, in the first game, we had a place where the dead bodies were found, so we could, like, imagine where the dead body came from that got used for the, you know, Mukuro, Junko thing. But in this case, we don't have a place where the dead bodies came from, so we don't have, like, a clue as to how that would even be possible, if that's possible. So that's why I'm thinking maybe somebody actually had to do this. But I still don't think it was the traitor. That's crazy to me. Anyway, alright.
I'm prepared.
Here we go. Kazuichi wants to rebut right away. It's a good thing I leveled up that sword.
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Oh god.
Trap?
What kind of trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
What's trap? Stupid? We'll see who's stupid. You fucking purple-haired Nimrod. Oh god, there's too many bullets though. How the heck? I have no idea. Let's just wait and see what he says. I have no idea which one it's gonna be.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap.
Man,
He
even with
wanted
a
to
level
hide
5
the
sword,
fact that
this
he got
shit's hella
interrogated.
chops. Crazy. Alright.
But
I
if
didn't
you
even get to
tape his
read
mouth
any of
shut,
that. I'm
how
gonna
is he
stop talking
supposed
so
to
I can
answer
listen to what they're
anything?
saying.
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
Okay.
Then, after they killed him,
Uh-huh.
they duct taped his mouth shut.
Why would they do that? That's stupid.
Whew, that was close, you guys. Thanks to me, you guys didn't get caught in the trap.
They taped Nagito's mouth after getting information from him? True, that sounds reasonable, but that clearly contradicts the truth. If he had listened to me until the very end, I wouldn't have had to go to the trouble of repeating myself.
Pay attention. This is how it went. First,
Is it just
the
the duct
killer
tape
tortured
again?
Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
Wait, retreat. Oh, I can't chop those? Oh, it won't let me chop those?
like you said, if Nagito's mouth was
I didn't know I
shut,
couldn't chop
you
those at
obviously
all.
assumed he couldn't talk, right? But
Is it
that
just the
was
duct tape
trap.
again, and that's why he said I don't
Wanted
want to
hide
repeat
the
myself?
fact that he got interrogated.
Oh my god. I don't know which point to put it on, though. Let me double
But
check
if
the
you
things
tape
that he
his mouth
said.
shut,
Yeah,
how is he supposed to answer anything?
exactly. Exactly.
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
Okay.
Then, after they killed him, they duct taped his mouth shut.
I mean, couldn't it be thrown at like
That
all
was
those?
close, you guys. Thanks to me, you guys didn't get caught in the trap.
Tape Nagito's mouth shut after information true. That sounds reasonable, but clearly contrary. So I'm just gonna
Pay
throw
attention. This
the
is
duct
how it
tape
went.
at
First, the killer
first
tortured
line?
Nagi and got information about the bomb's location.
No. Second one, maybe? What are you even saying? Are you trying to rebut me with that?
Crap!
Okay, hold on.
Pay attention. This is how it. First, the killer tortured Nagi and got information about the bomb's location.
So,
Then, after they
This
killed
one?
him,
that one.
Allow me to
It's like,
cut
it's
through
the duct
those
tape.
words.
It's because of where the blood was, right? So the blood's on top of the...
No.
Oh!
There's no doubt
Because there's
Nagito's
no
mouth
blood
was
on his
covered with
mouth,
duct tape
so
before he
that's
was beat
why.
up.
Okay, got it, sorry. I was thinking it... Okay, I didn't even hear what Hajime said because I was looking up at my ceiling thinking real fast. But that makes sense. I was just trying to think, like, it makes sense why this is the piece of evidence, but I'm just not saying it out loud. Anyway, yes. Because otherwise there'd be blood on his mouth, son.
what did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? You might as well settle this with rock, paper,
Oh,
scissors.
come on, Akane. We don't want to do that.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? You have a crush on him or something?
No. She just sides with truth, and you just side with idiocy. What can we say? Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right?
Idiot.
The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
So, I just realized this is debunking my theory about it being a dead person already, and yeah. The reason why I say that is because, what am I trying to say? He was alive. If it was a person who was already dead, he wouldn't have been struggling with the duct tape over his mouth. So Nagito was definitely alive. So this is definitely Nagito who's dead. That's what I'm trying to confirm that that's the thing. It's either that or it's the imposter who was still alive somehow. But I don't know. I don't think so. That imposter thing that we learned at the end of the chapter is kind of throwing me off my game a little bit, I think. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep both ideas in mind still, but lean still toward more that Nagito is definitely dead.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
Exactly.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
Duh.
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that?
Or not necessarily for destroying evidence, but for making the crime scene worse. Something like that. Basically, not to destroy evidence, but add more evidence to what actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to make something harder to figure out, make more things happen, you know? That's why he was stabbed with the knife millions of times. That's why he got hit with the fucking spear. That's why he was stringed up by the rope. I mean, there's all sorts of things that went on here. So yeah.
When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
Oh shit. Damn right, bitch. The reason for the fire, huh? They're right, we need to clear that up first. I think I already have most of that snuffed out, but let's see where they're gonna start from. Because there's the Monokuma panels and the oil lighter is pretty much how it's set up. And of course, I believe that was set up to burn the rope. That's what I'm thinking.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
Probably.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Yeah.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
Nope.
They probably just threw the lighter.
Nope.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
Okay.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited
Damn,
the
I missed
curtain.
all those.
Some way?
I know the way.
Maybe they used invisible thread.
No, it's the Monokuma panels.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Oh no, not sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
There it is. There it
I
is.
agree with that.
Agree. Opening the door, knocked over the panels. I was waiting for something to agree with. I knew that's what it had to be.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Duh, that's why the fire started right after we opened it.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious
Oh
Japan.
god. Come on, Sonia. Come on.
No, not wind pressure. They'd probably use the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
There it is. Domino effect.
Domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
No, I mean the tiles that kids play with to play the game called dominoes, where you play high score wins. Duh.
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels.
Oh,
So when we opened the warehouse
awesome
door,
layout.
the
Awesome
first
layout.
panel
We have
toppled
not
into
seen
the
it like this
second.
yet. Anyway, yeah.
And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
Durr.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The music. The music. The music A distracted us and B made noise. So is the music. Yep, the music's there. Booyah, son. The musica.
I see!
I remember.
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
Indeed. inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to this bright sunlight. Then that darkness allowed hymnal blare throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really nom 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 nom. No, I'm talking about the music. It suddenly started. Fire! Alright.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. Open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine. But those words kind of brushed off everyone. And it's the locked door. Is there something blocking the door? I knew it. It's a trap. Seriously, just stop it. Didn't I tell you it's gonna be fine? What happened to it opening it slowly? Yeah, okay. Boom, shakalaka.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
Got it.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Nailed it.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance, then who set this up? See, that's my whole thing is, how would Nagito have set this up to kill him? Or say, how could anyone have been in there to set this up, first of all? Because how would they have gotten out? And then, second of all, how would Nagito even do this to himself? That would have been hard to set up, right? Like, how would you do this to yourself? I don't know. I don't know. How would you even set this up? Because the stab wounds all over the place is what throws me off. Alright, anyway, let's just keep going. Maybe there was some way he did do this to himself. I don't know. I see. So the problem Shaki's talking about is the killer couldn't have left. There you go.
I see!
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
Uh-oh. If we're already going to go on the suicide route this fast, suicide it will not be. The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse? There's only one person who could have done that. Oh, wow, they're going to make me choose now. Well, it's the only person who's inside the warehouse, so let's just go ahead and do it. The fact that we're already on this point, this early on, means, holy crap, they're already refuting the Nikito did this to himself situation. Wow, so we have to figure out another way. Oh my god, okay.
This is my answer. What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the part that makes it hard, right? Why is he all cut up? It would make more sense if, say, even if the knife in the hand, even if that was a thing, the spear killing him is totally a thing that could have been set up. But the thing is, all of his limbs being tied in all four directions, that's a tough one. That's the real tough one. Like, how would you do that to yourself? Even if you could somehow crawl around after having stabbed your leg and arm all fucked up. How could you have tied all your limbs? Like, that's one that's throwing me off too. Somebody had to have set this up. Somebody had to.
Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
Sure, I can believe it, but is it possible? Like, that he could do it and pull all of this off at the same time? That's the part that throws me off.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
All 4 of them? That seems mighty awkward.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Oh, great. We have to explain that now? How the hell are we gonna do that?
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Are we really gonna find a way for him to tie himself up? Is that gonna be a possibility? Are you serious right now? Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. What? What do I feel like I'm overlooking? I don't even know. What? Am I forgetting one of the things? How would you tie yourself up? These are the same freaking bullets I had last time. What the heck?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
And the other thing
It'd be
is,
impossible if you were
the
by
free
yourself.
arm got stabbed
How
with a
about
knife.
you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Your front.
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Front tail. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right? Is it?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
I
Tying
think so
just
too.
the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
Huh.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
Uh-huh.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How
Yeah.
about if you use your teeth?
No.
Or if you use your front tail?
Okay.
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
So, okay. Our assumption that Nagito said correctly. Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay. Is it
To actually tie up
burned
your own...
rope? Is the burned rope gonna help me here? I'm gonna check it. The rope that was tied to Nagito's right arm burned off. However, Nagito's right sleeve looked clean. Maybe the fact that the right sleeve is clean means something? I don't know, man. This one's tough. I'm gonna assume it's this one, and I'm gonna throw it at one of those other bullets.
Own arms and
See, or
legs.
like
That's
Let me-
obviously
let me see.
impossible.
own arms and legs.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
Exactly.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
Uh-huh.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Oops, I
about if
clicked the
you
wrong
use
button
your
there.
teeth?
My bad.
Or if you use your front tail?
Okay, I don't know how...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Oh, well, I can't refute a blue one. You can only agree. But the duct tape would refute the blue one about the teeth, right? Because his mouth was covered up, so it definitely can't be his teeth. But that's not a refutable point. That's an agreeable point. So we can't even use that. So it's
To
definitely not the
actually
teeth
tie up
thing.
your own arms and legs.
Okay, it is
No,
that.
that's wrong.
All right. The free arm and ties over. Okay. If you say so, game. I don't know how. Explain this one to me, because I
Hold
don't
on
even
a
know.
sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
Please explain.
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
Oh, maybe that is true. Maybe there was just a rope there to make us think he was tied on all 4 limbs, but he actually wasn't. Huh. And the reason why it's burned was so we would think he was tied up in all 4 limbs. I guess that's possible, if I think about it like that. Alright, I'm open to the possibility. Fine. Dang, that means he stabbed... How did he stab the knife into his own hand? Was that an accident? That's the last straw in my opinion, is how did the knife get stabbed into the free hand? You can't stab a knife into your free hand if it's you can't do it with one hand unless you somehow have amazing skills to throw the knife in the air, hold your hand out, and the knife perfectly lands on it. That would be the only way I can think of, which I guess could happen. It's not impossible. I just don't know. He is the ultimate lucky student, so I mean, sure, I can see that. Sure. All right. Anyway, burned by the fire should have been tied up before that. We'll see about this.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
Oh yeah? Proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap is the fact that his arm wasn't all bloody. I'm just gonna say it's the sleeve, because that's the only other thing that makes sense here.
I see.
Yeah. Okay.
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Sick.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Oh, okay. How much?
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
Why does the conversation always go here with her? God damn it.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed
There
into
we
it,
go.
you know?
That's the last little detail about the hand being free that I'm still skeptical of as well.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
The only thing I can think of is if he could throw it in the air and have it perfectly land. That's the only way.
Hajime, you tricked me. Give me back that Benjamin.
Bitch, give you back the Benjamin. The hell? I was the one supposed to give it to you. What the? That doesn't even make any sense. Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back? What the heck? Yeah, see? I'm confused too.
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. Okay, there's definitely an answer for this. Are we gonna logic this out? No, we're gonna argue this. What? Survival knife. I don't know.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
Okay,
If you
I'm
threw the knife
on
into the
board with
air
this question.
And
What
let
the
the
hell?
knife fall. Could he
Okay.
stab his hand that way?
Yep, I can believe
Is
it.
he a throwing knife expert?
Yep. I'm glad they brought
Maybe
this up
he
already.
propped the knife somehow
Prop the knife up?
and slammed his right hand down on it?
No, it's the other way
Propped it
around.
onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily.
Uh-huh.
We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right
Give
hand.
me back that Benjamin. Okay. Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself in the palm. How did he do it? I
Even
don't
if
know.
Nagito's
It's
right
not
hand was
torture
free.
wounds. It's not the burned rope.
How could...
Let me see what the survival knife says on it, just so I remember what it says. Stabbed into Nagito's right hand. The knife is from the military base. It's safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's... Okay, so this doesn't tell me what the knife was doing or how it got there or anything like that. So that's not helpful. What else was the
Could
other
he
ones?
stab his right hand with his right hand?
Monokuma plushie.
If you threw the knife into the air,
Blood on girder. Oh, blood on girder. Oh, the blood on the girder. Oh my god. The knife was up there. That's why there's blood up there. I forgot about this little detail. I was wondering why this was a thing. And it is a straight line. So it definitely did fall right on his hand. Wow, okay. Okay. That's the answer to that.
and let the
All
knife
right.
fall.
There it is. Oh, that is
Could
the
he
answer.
stab his
though.
hand that way?
All right, hold on. The
Is he
knife fall.
throwing
That,
it?
I'm gonna
Maybe
agree
he
on with
propped
knife
and
fell.
slammed his
Knife
right
fell.
propped
Knife
it.
fell.
If he
Knife
just
fell.
propped, he could
Knife
have
fell.
used his...
If you're
Skip
tied
all this
up,
shit.
we don't
Skip
know
all
if
this
his left
shit.
hand
It's
could
the
even
knife
reach
fell,
his
damn
right
it.
hand.
If that's not the answer, then
Even
I
if
don't know.
Nagito's right hand was... How could he stab his
Where you
right
at,
hand?
Sonya?
If
Where
you
you
threw
at?
the knife into and let the knife fall,
No? Oh, really? Knife fell onto his hand and stabbed him.
It's wrong?
Doesn't sound right. Okay. I guess because the knife already had to be in his hand.
Even if
Okay.
Nagito's right hand was free,
Monokuma panels,
how could he
oil
stab his
lighter.
right hand with his right hand?
I
If you
feel
threw
like
the
it's
knife
still the
into
blood
the
on the
air,
girder.
and let the knife fall,
Okay, maybe that's not
could
quite
he
how it
stab his
works.
hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Nope.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Maybe this is it? No. Fuck. Prop the knife, but problem is, what did he prop it
wrong.
with? Okay.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
I don't know, man.
If
I'm
he
still
threw
trying
the
to
knife into the
think this
air
out myself. Like, what am I
and let
supposed
the
to
knife
do?
fall,
Let the knife fall.
could he stab his hand that way?
I mean, yeah,
Is he a
but like,
throwing knife expert?
how would you do that when
Maybe
you're
he
like,
propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
that can't be a thing.
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
This? No. What is it? Nagito's left hand was definitely tied up, right? Wait.
Damn it!
Maybe that's the contradiction, because he
Even
wouldn't
if
have been able to
Nagito's
use
right
his
hand
left
was
hand.
free,
Torture
how could he
wounds.
stab his right hand?
You know what?
with his
Maybe
right
that's
hand?
it. Torture wounds.
If he threw the knife into the air, and
Maybe
let the
that's
knife
it.
fall,
Maybe I'm supposed to refute the fact that he could have
could he
used his
stab
left
his hand that way?
because that definitely seems false. That
Is
was
he a
possible.
throwing knife expert?
Let's see if that's right.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand down on it?
So let's just go to Sonya and throw
Propped
torture
it
wounds.
onto what?
Because torture wounds would talk about the
If he
fact that
just
his left
propped
arm
the
was
knife,
fucked up. So how would you use his hand?
He could have used his bound left hand.
No? No. What is it? Nagito's left hand was definitely tied up, right? So he would have been able to steady the knife if he held it in his right hand, correct? I do not believe this is a contradiction.
Damn it!
Fuck. Okay.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free,
So
how could
what
he
are
stab
what are
his
my
right
other
hand?
choices?
And let the knife. Could he stab his hand?
Let
Is
the
he a
knife
throwing
fall.
knife? Maybe he propped and
Propped
slammed
up the
his right.
knife. Those are
onto
agreeable
what?
points, so I have to agree with those or
He
not.
could have used his bound left
Could
hand.
have used his
If
impossible.
you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily.
Bend that easily.
We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Okay. Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself. How did he do it? Oh my god, this
Even
one's
if
killing
Nagito's-
me. I don't even know. Is it the
Right
bend?
hand was
like,
free.
Is it the point with the bend
How could he
so
stab
easily?
his right hand with his right hand?
The blood on the girder, man, it's throwing me off. I know it has to do something with this situation. That's why it's a straight line. It's either the straight... Okay, the straight line either has to do with the knife or it has to do with the spear. I guess technically the straight line of the blood could have done with the spear, but why is there blood on it? That's the part that's throwing me off. The fact that there's blood up on the girder makes me think it has to do with the knife, because the knife was already bloody, right? From stabbing himself a bunch. Man, okay. Let me just, I was just gonna look at stuff again real quick. Faint red line on the ceiling girder was... Okay, so yeah, we haven't even alluded to that yet, so I won't even bother with that. Found on the floor near the fire's origin point. This huge bloody hole in the stomach as if it was stabbed. As if it was stabbed. As if it was stabbed. Maybe that is it.
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Maybe.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Propped it up with the... Maybe he propped...
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Maybe this is it. Oh my god, it is! The fucking doll held the knife? Or something?
The life-sized Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
I guess.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
Sure. That's the weirdest thing ever. I'm trying to think, like, how would the knife have fallen into his hand, though? It's a fucking plushie. It doesn't do anything. It's just a fucking stuffed animal, dude. What the heck?
He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
Then he slammed his hand onto it? Is the knife not stabbed into the ground? I guess. That makes sense. So, like, while he's laying there, he just slammed his hand down and then flipped his hand over. Okay. I was thinking of it like the knife is stabbed into the ground, but maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe his hand isn't exactly crucified into the ground, which is what I was picturing. But I guess that would make it would be pretty hard to stab your hand into a concrete floor or whatever kind of floor this is. That'd be pretty hard. So the knife is just literally through his hand. Okay, so that changes my thought process on that a little bit. I don't know why in my brain I was immediately thinking it was stabbed into the ground. So that definitely changes that. Okay.
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
Yes, it does. That does explain the blood on there.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
Okay.
I see. So that's the trick.
And none of these things killed him until he had the spear come down and finish him. But how did the spear get triggered? That's the last piece of the puzzle here. How did the spear get triggered? That's a good question.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear. If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
I mean, it's not impossible, but I doubt it.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
She's like, say that for yourself, bitch.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Dang, Sonia, you're that delicate?
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying it's impossible?
Oh, no. We know how the spear worked. I just remembered. He had the, oh my god. He did do it to himself with the spear because his left hand has, like, he was holding something, and then on the spear, the wire or whatever that's attached to the spear actually has blood on it, and it was looped around the beam on top, and that's why there's blood up there, because it came from his bloody hand. Okay, I already figured that out. I still maintain that this is weird. This is all weird.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monomi's sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
Alright, well, let's clear that up real quick, because I already figured this out.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
Got it.
What kind of way?
I don't know,
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. Then even now.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this, baby. Pop, pop, pop. Let's work together. We gonna figure this shit out together. I already know, motherfucker. I know it. Oh my god, what? Which... Oh, there might be a thing where I have to use their own points against each other.
How did
None of
Nagito
those seem
stab
right.
himself with a spear?
Easy.
Let's work together and think this through.
Let's work together.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
Uh-huh.
He was only able to move his left hand.
But
Uh-huh.
his left hand was also tied up.
Yes.
Then that rules out his left hand.
Nope. That's the
If that's the
contradiction.
case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail.
Nope. It's definitely
I
contradicting
know
what
guys have
you
tails
said
that
there.
get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
The front tail thing is ridiculous. Anyway, if Nagito commits suicide, there must have been a spear to stab himself. Even if his arms and legs tied up, there's no doubt he used some part of his body. The only thing he could have used is his left hand. Okay, so it's definitely his
How
left
did
hand, but
Nagito
which
stab
thing
himself
is
with
it?
a spear?
Survival knife,
Let's
blood on
look-
left hand. That's it. That's it right there. I didn't realize that was one of the bullets. Blood was splattered on the palm of Nagito's left hand. But for some reason, the splatter cuts off in the middle of the palm. Nailed it. There it is. Blood on
Work
left hand.
together
Boom.
and think this
Shakalaka.
through.
For what? We did it. We did
When
it.
the spear stabbed Nagito,
Easy peasy.
his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
True. True. Very true.
He was only able to move his left hand.
Jup, 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 jup.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Yep, 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 yep.
Then that rules out his left
Nope,
hand.
doesn't rule it out, bitch. Because
No,
he
it's
had
wrong.
that shit son in his hand. He was holding on to the string thing.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain. But it's not the only unnatural bloodstain.
Talking about the girder, right?
Look, there's
Oh,
blood
wait.
on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Uh-huh.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
Holding on to something. Yup, it was gripping. It was gripping.
I see.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Oh, God.
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear.
Well, yeah, technically.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
Sure.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Yup. Which section of the spear was he holding on to? He was holding on to the cord, baby.
I see.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
Chup chup.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
Nope.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki?
The girder blood.
I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord, extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
What a great plan.
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up, and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that, that's it. Could it be the state of the spear and the fact that Nagito is holding the tip of the cord attachment? If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Does that mean we're doing a hangman? No, logic. Okay, cool.